Hey everybody, this is Mom H with Honey Hollow Homestead. It is windy outside and chilly, especially with the wind, so I am recording this inside. I am upstairs because my husband has the TV on downstairs. So, but I needed to make this video. Have a problem, and I'm hoping to get some information from anybody out there that may be able to help me figure out a solution. Last week I went to start my tractor and it started and then it revved up and quit. Great. Tried to start it again, wouldn't start. Tried next day, wouldn't start. Okay. So I called the tractor place where I bought it, and he thought it was probably something with the fuel system that would be under warranty, and because they had put in I don't remember now what it was. It's in the records down below. But anyway, he thought it would be something under warranty, so they came and got it on Monday. Today's Thursday. Now, I was gone on Tuesday and Wednesday, yesterday. Had other things I had to take care of and deal with. So I called them this morning to see if they had a chance to look at it yet and what they determined. There was mud in the fuel. Now, they brought the tractor back in September with a full tank. I ran it, no problems. It worked great. The only issue I had was with the bucket, but nothing too bad. Ran great on that tank of fuel. And it was getting low, and so I went and I got a jug of diesel fuel from a local station that we go to. Everybody around here uses that station. Okay, it's a very popular place. Okay, so I had no doubts that the fuel was good that I was using, because everybody around here uses that station. And I filled my tank, and there was still like maybe that much fuel left in my 5-gallon jug. Okay, and I ran it for a while on it, not a problem. Okay, we did some work here on the retaining wall, the hillside, and it was running fine. Okay, but it sat here for a few days before I went to move it. What was I trying to move it for? Oh yeah, they were delivering. They were going to do hay, I think is what it was. Anyway, had to. Yeah, it was my neighbor and I were going to go get hay. We ended up not getting hay, but that's when I discovered it wasn't running. So it had been sitting there for a few days, not moving or anything. And so maybe it could have been sitting there for a week. Could have been. So in that time, at some point, it looks like somebody came on my property and put dirt in my fuel tank. And it's like, I've never had a problem before I have Sheba here, and she would, if she was out and if she was not with the goats, or if the goats were back here and she was here, she would have, you know, given the fright to whoever was here, you know, that was strange. But if she was in the pen, if they were locked up, and there was one day, and I don't remember exactly which day it was, that I did have her and the goats locked up. Now that was when the guys were here hunting. So no, that wouldn't have been a factor, because that was after. So I don't know. The only way that she's locked up at night, okay. But other than that, she's running with the goats, okay. But like, if the goats are not on, right here, at the center of the property, if they're out on the hills, she may not detect anybody on the property, okay? Because that's her job, to stay with the goats, to protect the goats. So either somebody showed up here at night, or they showed up when we were not on the property and did something. I don't know who it would be. I have no problems with anybody. There is somebody that I know who is having an issue with somebody that I do not know. But it is possible that if that party thinks that I'm in a good way with this other party, and they know that I'm up here, it's possible. That is the only people I can possibly think of that would vandalize my property. Okay? Unless there's just someone just doing it just because they weren't able to steal the tractor, because I don't leave the key in the ignition. But that's the only people I can possibly think of. But I think I've mentioned this before, that there was one day, this was maybe a month ago, that I saw a van coming down my driveway. And people on occasion come down here. Sometimes it's, you know, they were looking for somebody else and they took a wrong turn, or they thought it might be them, or, I mean, it happens. I mean, not very often, but once in a blue moon I get someone that shows up here and they're looking for somebody else, and, you know, and I'm very pleasant, you know, I'm cordial and everything, and try to help them out as best I can. I've had people come here for other reasons, business related reasons. So there are people that know that I'm up here. But this van, it was a white van, I remember. They started down my driveway, and I heard them coming. I can hear them coming. And I waved, and I started walking over, and next thing I know, they're turning around and they're leaving. Okay, that was odd. Very odd. So anyway, my husband and I are talking about what we can do. As you know, we are on Social Security. There's not a lot of extra money. I did notice that Amazon has some Black Friday specials coming up on security cameras. Okay, guys, I'm not sure about these security cameras. Okay, if they're too cheap, are they any good? I was looking at them, and a lot of them you need to subscribe to some kind of service. If anybody has any advice or can suggest decent security cameras that I do not have to have wired to electricity, um, but maybe are battery operated, and I do not have to be subscribed to some kind of a service, I'd appreciate if you could, you know, give a leave a link or a brand name or something, because it looks like we're going to have some kind of security camera. Also thinking about a gate at the top of my driveway that I can lock. I'm not sure, because that would be like $100 expense at least, possibly more. And it's not just the cost of the gate, but it's also the cost of the posts. And I would have to run boards. I could talk to the guy that did my fence. It's very disconcerting to think that someone was on my property when I was not here. My neighbors cannot see me. This time of year they might be able to, because most of the leaves are down. But it's very disturbing to think that somebody was here and they decided to sabotage my property, to vandalize it. And I don't want to move. I don't want to leave. If I am here, I can protect myself, but I need something here for when I'm not here. I'm open for suggestions. If I can get cameras, yeah, I'll post a sign saying, "Smile, you're on candid camera." And I'll hang that on the gate. And I hate to do it, but I will keep the gate locked even when I'm home. And that would be a pain. But you do what you got to do. I'm a woman. My husband is no match for anybody that want to do anything. You know, I'm not exposing anything extra that is not already known out there. So, yeah. I told the guy I can't afford another $2,000 repair bill. I just can't. Is it possible that the first problem that I had could have been sabotage or vandalism? It's possible, but there's no way of knowing, because it's possible that it could have been condensation. It's possible. So, but this definitely has to be the only way for that mud to get into the fuel tank, is for someone to take the cap off, grab a handful of dirt, and shove it in the fuel tank. That's the only way. But I'm not just worried about my tractor. I'm worried about my water system. I'm worried about my own personal truck, such as it is. It's only a 99. It's an old vehicle. I am concerned about my livestock. Thankfully, if there's anybody strange on the property, the goats do not go near them. The sheep do not go near them. Honey, she's a little friendlier than the goats. Like, you could probably walk up to her. But I don't know if anybody without horse experience could handle her. I don't know. She'd definitely fight them if they tried to take her off the property. She would definitely fight them, and she'd probably pull back and run. So, uh, and Sheba barks at strangers. If I'm here and I tell her it's okay, she'll back down, but she'll stick around. Okay. So I think that if anybody tried to do me harm, I think she'd jump in. She would. But she waits for my signal. But if I'm not here, so anyway, any suggestions, especially when it comes to security cameras, would be deeply appreciated. And hopefully not terribly expensive, because, well, you know why. So, anyway, this is Mom H with Honey Hollow Homestead. I need to get back to working on my kitchen. I have another shelf I want to put up, and I'm building a frame for the countertop so I can get that in. I'm kind of limited because of the wind. I mean, I can't do the staining and the sanding in the house. I prefer to do that outside, but might be able to do the sanding, but I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. So, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you for any input. I appreciate it. Talk to y'all later.